Mainly because I wanted to talk about it. I wanted it to
Oh,
be in the story, and the one of the main characters, Gellert, the magical engineer, he is a specialist in this. This is what he has spent his whole life learning to do. He is really good at it. And he used to be much higher in his society before he came into the story and is now doing what he does now. Uh, but I wanted let me back that up a little bit. I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to show this, hey, reader, look at this cool magic system. It's really fun. I hope you enjoy it.
I'm not
And
gonna info dump you.
yeah, yeah, I'm going to give it to you pieces. I'm going to have it come throughout the story. I'm only going to give you the information when you need it. But I also wanted to limit this technology. I didn't want it to be everywhere and prevalent everywhere because that really changes how people can solve a problem. There's this thing in like horror stories and stuff like that. There's a reason like the early 90s and before that are really popular for horror stories is because when cell phones became popular, it really killed a
Yeah.
lot of the problems that people faced in horror stories. And now when you go into horror and it's a modern one, there's always a reason why the cell phone doesn't work. There's always a reason why communication is knocked out with everyone around you. And they have to do that because a cell phone distant communication instantaneously solves a lot of problems. So you have to
Yeah,
find
yeah, yeah.
reasons to really limit that so that your characters are forced to be interesting as they solve problems. Create limitations, and people will grow within those interesting situations and display some awesome stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that's a weird question, but you answered it really
Ah,
well.
I like talking
And
about it. Thank you.
the exact reasons like why I wanted you to talk about it. Because I think like some people like people have been asking me this type of question, right? And when I see it's the teacher in me, when I see a great example, I really want people to know the process behind it, so they can like kind of replicate that for themselves and better their writing. So I think that's really smart. How did you decide really like, and again, if this is spoilers at all, like feel free just to say that, but like in terms of the magic tech, like how did you decide this is what it's going to be able to do, these are the limitations? Yeah, I'm just curious at kind of how you like put the different layers for that together.
Yeah, that actually fluctuated a lot throughout the story. I knew I wanted a magical tech. I knew I wanted it to be powered by these orange crystals, and you'll see that a lot in the motifs of like the art around my story.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of the interior and design and stuff like that. There is a lot of like crystals and gems and stuff like that, and like this very like bright orange coloration, which favorite color, but I at first, I wasn't sure what it did other than it powered technology, and these are things that I want the technology to do.
Yeah.
And then as the story came into its own and became like, okay, this is what the story is about. These are the things I need the technology to do. I found the limitations along the way because, like I said in the earlier answer, is I'm a big believer in limitations. Like when you put pressure on something, is that's when you find greatness. Again, that's how I live my life. I like to give myself deadlines. I like to give myself goals, and I like to make them hard to achieve because if even if I don't achieve that goal, I will achieve more by simply pursuing it. By simply
Yeah.
setting this deadline and being like, hey, I want my first draft to be done by December 2020, whatever. I didn't make it. But because I
I
set
know that
that
feeling.
goal, yeah. But because I set that goal, I got so much more done. I was really close. And I felt good about that. And that's what I needed the technology to do as well. I needed these limitations. And eventually I settled on what Cirrusite does is it produces, stores, and converts energy. Those are the three things that the crystals do. And from there, what could people figure out? Like, what could
Yeah.
you create with the ability to transfer kinetic energy into light? Oh, well, we have light shields now. We now have soldiers that have the shield that is powered by the crystal, that an enemy hits it and it flashes in their face, blinding them.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome. We
Yeah.
now have spears that if you stab it into something and click on not a button, like a rune to, I'm using the wrong word, not ignite, like initiate the power of the spear, it will make like a kinetic blast because you
Oh,
can
that's cool.
convert energy from one form to another, you can do so many cool things with it. And
Yeah.
that's why you can have things like lights, you can have things like military, you can have things like transportation, agriculture. Like so many things open up without really breaking the mold by setting these three rules. These are the three things that you can do.